Hi everyone, crazy keto guy here. Um, so this is going to be a little bit weird. I'm actually recording this video Tuesday night. However, as a tease, I'm not going to post it until Wednesday. And the reason for that is, I think I've mentioned it before, I was posting all of my videos on an old YouTube account, and I hadn't really come up with the crazy keto guy idea and set up all of the social medias for crazy keto guy. So over the last week, I've been transferring or copying all of the videos across. Now I'd hoped to have had that done by tonight, but that hasn't happened. So basically I'm going to shoot the video now. I'm going to load those last couple of videos up that need to be copied across, and then, oh, pardon me, sorry, I've just had dinner. And then the intention is to just start putting the new videos purely on the Crazy Keto Guy social media platforms. So it won't get duplicated onto the old account, which was my old poker account, Fat Boy Poker. It will just go now after the last couple are copied across. So anyway, first and most important thing, I would guess 5 minutes time am either going to be really happy or really pissed off. Sorry to use a naughty word, but as we know, I am the bad boy of keto. What was the term I got? Keto dick. Hashtag keto dick is what I got called on the forum that I signed up for. But anyway, maybe I'll talk about that afterwards. I want to get this one out of the way. So for the last 5 weeks, I've been weighing in either on a Monday or a Tuesday. It kind of moved because of sort of commitments and what have you. I've weighed in every week for the last 5 weeks, and I didn't look at the results. I deliberately didn't look at the results, and the idea was that I would have a 5 week kind of reveal. Now, I'm not going to go back through all of the old ones. I've probably just messed up the order now. No, that's good. But what I do want to tell you is the last time I weighed in was the 30th of September. It is now the 5th of November, so I've had the whole of October and first week of November, so 5 weeks. The weirdness, without going back over all of the weeks, I see a lot of people posting about, oh, like, oh, you know, I've been doing it X amount of weeks and I've only lost this or whatever. In the 19 weeks I've been doing this, I've had some real up and down. I've had weeks where I've lost nothing. I've had weeks where I've lost a pound. I've had a couple of weird weeks where I've lost like 4 pounds. And my heaviest, which I'll come to in a minute, was my last one on the 30th of September. And then there's been weeks where I thought I would have lost a lot of weight. My training's been on point. My diet's been on point. Everything's been good. And I weighed in and I haven't put anything, you know, I'm still the same weight. So it's been a real roller coaster. However, on the 30th of September, when I weighed in last, I'd actually lost 7 pounds. And it was one of them weeks where I couldn't really explain it. I was 17.11 the week before, which I was really happy about. I sort of got into the 17s, the 17 stone mark, a little bit earlier than I'd, you know, thought, with the few weeks prior to that seeing very little in the way of weight loss. So I'd gone down to 17.11 the week before on the 23rd of the 9th, and then out of the blue, on the 30th, I put on, I lost 7 pounds, which, as I say, it was a good week, don't get me wrong, and it did include a 36-hour fast, which I was doing at the start of each month. So that was even though it was just prior to the start of the month. That was my October, if you like, 36-hour fast. So 17.4, 5 weeks ago. Right. Sorry, I just want to make. Oh no, I'll leave them out there. So here are, and numbered. Probably can't see it, but they've got like 1, 2, obviously 3, 4, and 5. So, as I say, either going to be very happy and busy for the rest of the video, and there are a few things I'm going to carry on afterwards. I'm trying to get this at the start, so hopefully you ain't got to wait too long. So my big worry, and one of the reasons why I decided in my crazy head, crazy keto guy, that I wasn't going to weigh in for 5 weeks, was I was worried that the 7 pound was some sort of anomaly, and I'd weigh in the week later and I would have put it all back on. That might be the case. This is number 1. So the date is the 8th of the 10th, and from 17.4 I'm down to, oh, can you see that? 17.2. So I lost another 2 pounds. So let's talk about goals. What I'm ultimately out for. I would like to be in the 16s. I don't know how far into the 16s, but if I could be 16.10 or below, I think in my head that would be happy. I've got to say, of the 5 weeks, the middle week, so 2 weeks and then the middle week, I did have a week off of training. Didn't do any training whatsoever. No gym, no cycling, not even sauna, anything like that. I decided my body needed a week to recover, so I took the week off. So week 3, I'm thinking. I've also had a couple of weeks where I've had treats. So again, you know, it may or may not. Now, the other thing, and I just want to check the one prior to this, because I am a little bit unsure. The other thing that seems to be going up and down is my body fat percentage. Even though I lost 2 pounds, it appears that I put a little bit of the body fat percentage that I'd lost, which was nearly 10% since I started. Looks like I put 1 and a bit on, 1.6 if my math, no, 1.8. So hopefully over the next 4 we're going to see that come up. As much as I want to see my weight come down, I do want to see my body fat percentage come down, and I would definitely like to see it in the 20s. I think the fact that the first week it's gone up does make me think that that might be hard to achieve. So anyway, 17.2. This is nerve-wracking. Why am I so nervous? I'm waiting to look at one and go, ooh, this could be it. Number 2. But even though this was another week where I was training, etc. Oh, put some weight on. How? How did I put weight on week 2? So week 2, wait for it, I put 4 pounds back on. How? God, this is confusing. I went back up to 17.6. So 17.4 down to 17.2, 17.6. Body fat wise, actually took a couple of, well, 0.2% off. So not happy with that. Now that really does make me worry about week 3. Oh, we lost the 4 pound again. So week 3, which was a non-training day, we dropped back down to 17.2. So we're down to 108.9 kilograms, and our body fat dropped by 1%. So the last 2 weeks we dropped some body fat. We're back down to 33.5. So okay, now with 2 weeks to go, I've got to be honest. If I don't make the 16s, I'm going to be pretty disappointed. I'm going to be disappointed because it has been hard work. I've made a big sacrifice, obviously, with the foods that I was eating, which I know were doing me no good, but basically the foods that I loved and gave up. So, and then you couple that with the effort that's gone in at the gym and all of those things, and yeah, I've got to be honest, I guess I'll be a little bit disappointed. However, as again I've said in the past, losing weight was only reason number 5. So it's not the end of the world. Let's get to week 4. It's like, I don't know, I was going to say it's like checking the lottery tickets, but I think it's like checking the lottery tickets and seeing you've got 1 number and then 2 and then 3, and every time you check a number it's even more nerve-wracking. Yes! Yes! Sorry. Week 4, we're in the 16s. 16 stone 12 to be exact, down to 107 kilograms. Now, I don't know what the amount was, but I know when I started, weirdly that's not the right one, I was 115 kilograms, so that's like 8 kilograms out. And even weirder is the first week I did keto, I actually put 7 pounds on. So actually, I was 119 kilos. That was very weird the first week, the fact that I put 7 pounds on. Okay, so week 4, 16, 12, 107, pretty much no movement. Is there a movement? Again, 0.2% on the body fat. So it's funny, when I'm in the gym and I'm doing all the exercise and working out, I do really feel like I've got a massive belly still. But again, it's took me 52 years to build it. Is it only going to take me 4 or 5 months to get rid of it? No, that is unrealistic. Now, if in 2 years' time I've managed to carry on with my training and my diet and everything, and I've still got a massive belly, then I think I'll probably be a little bit miffed. 16, 12. The last one, week 5. So my worry when I went into the 17s, when I first broke into the 17s and went at 17-11, was that the following week I would have jumped back up into the 18s. And likewise, now that I've seen that I'm 16, 12, I guess I'm a little bit worried that this is going to jump back up. At the same time, it does include the week when I did my 36-hour fast. And it probably includes a week where I did my hardest, toughest gym sessions. In fact, I was a little bit critical of myself because I think, if anything, I went a bit too extreme with my last 2 gym sessions. But this is all included in this week. So, again, I'm really hoping to see, like I said at the start when we started talking about weight, I would like 1610 or below. So I don't know how visible that is, but 16.9. So I'm really happy. I've basically lost 9 pounds over 5 weeks, which is nearly £2 a week, which I think is great. I know we had the 1 bit down, 1 bit up. So if I hadn't have had the week where I put 4 pounds back on, it would have been even better. Can't explain that, but it is what it is. And body fat, well, actually last week I put body fat on. Sorry, I misled you. I didn't come down by 2. I actually put some back on, but lost it all again this week. So I'm down to 33.9% body fat. And again, to give you an idea, sorry, I'm struggling here. To give you an idea, body fat percentage started at 42. Yeah, 42. So, yeah, again, we're pretty much. Did I have it at one stage even lower? I'm not sure if I've had it lower. without going through all the tickets. So 42, and we're down to 33.9. I have a sneaky feeling, yeah, it was down in the 32s actually. So that's a little bit disappointing, a little bit confusing. There's that argument that muscle weighs more than fat. Oh, hello, what's going on with my camera? So is there a situation where it's showing that we've lost weight, but when in fact it's because we've put fat on as opposed to muscle, which is obviously not what we're trying to do. I do think I still need to adjust my diet a little bit. I think my portion size is still too big, and I think that needs to come down slightly, and maybe a tweak here and there. I don't know. But anyway, the bottom line, I said I want it to be under 1610 or 1610 or under, and I'm 16.9. So I'm very happy. So the rest of the video will be a happy, positive video. I'm sorry, the camera seems to be playing up today, either going in and out of focus, even though that might be a good thing. And there's definitely something weird going on with the light, which I don't really get, because it's nighttime, so there's no natural daylight to conflict with the room light. So, to my notes. Now that I've took care of the weight and I've given the good news that I'm in the 16s, and now my focus will be staying in and getting lower. Remember, my 23rd of December target was 16 stone 4. So we're only 5 pounds away from that, and we're pretty nearly 7 weeks away. So that bodes well for hitting that target as well. So the next thing I want to talk about is Perfect Keto, the company whose products I purchased. I called it a punt at the time, and just in case that doesn't translate across to the US, because I think punt is probably when you kick a ball. In the UK, when I refer to a punt, it's like having a gamble. And the gamble for me was spending the amount of money in total that I did on purchasing those Perfect Keto products, and knowing that the science isn't 100%. And what I mean by that is it's too early to know if exogenous ketones, which was one of the products that Perfect Keto do, they call it their base, whether exogenous ketones are as effective or even work at all as opposed to the ketones that we produce naturally. But anyway, I took a punt. I've got a lot of time for Perfect Keto because I kind of messed my order up and they were really good about it. I should have ordered a bundle, and instead I ordered the products individually, which cost me more, and there was a bundle that included them all that also had other things in it. Anyway, long story short, I got it for the same price as the bundle, and they sent me the other bits that I'd missed off the bundle. Hopefully that makes sense. However, I cannot, me personally, in good faith, endorse certainly the exogenous ketones. In addition to that, I got the MCT powder, and I also got collagen, and I basically make a shake with the free in some almond, I keep calling it almond milk, but I'm not sure you can get milk out of a nut. So almond drink, Alpro almond, no sugar drink, and they were beautiful, don't get me wrong, lovely, but I can't honestly say that I've seen a massive jump with my ketone levels over the month of October, which when you consider I was also taking MCT oil in my morning coffee. I was then adding MCT oil to the shake and exogenous ketones. I really expected to see some pretty impressive results. pretty much the same. Now, that could just be me. I'm not saying they don't work. As I say, the science is out on them. But yeah, you know, for me, they didn't work. Now, I've said all along that I've struggled with getting my ketones to the level that I want them. That was before I took the exogenous ketones, during the exogenous ketones, and probably will be exactly the same now. I don't know if it's an age thing. I don't know if it's to do with my diabetes and the fact that I have to inject insulin, because obviously the level of insulin that's in your body affects the production of ketones. Maybe as a type 2 diabetic who injects insulin, it's causing a problem with my liver creating ketones. I don't know. So I'm not for 1 minute slating perfect keto. I'm just saying that for me, I didn't see a noticeable difference. What effect the MCT oil powder had, what effect the collagen had, I don't know. One thing I will say is I've definitely been sleeping so much better since I started taking their collagen. Falling asleep quicker, much deeper sleep, vivid dreams. You know, could just be coincidence, could be part of just my general well-being, but it did kind of start when I started taking their collagen. So I say I'm not slamming them for 1 minute, but they're exogenous ketones. Certainly for me, I didn't see the kind of improvement, if any at all, of my ketone readings. So moving on, training. As you all know, well, I take that for granted. That sounded arrogant. I'm a 52-year-old English guy. Or certainly at the time of filming this, I'm a 52-year-old English guy. And for 15 roughly years, I've had diabetes, type 2 diabetes, and ignored it. Now, all the medical profession, and don't get me wrong, I've got a lot of time for them. I've got family that are in the medical profession. I've got friends that are in the medical profession. But all the medical profession seemed to want to do was chuck more and more medication at me, and new medication, but in addition to what I was already taking. It's like, you know, you start with 1 pill, you get 2, then you get 3, then you get more of all of them. And I was pretty much on the maximum dose of everything, including 2 insulins. Now, since I've been doing the ketogenic diet, 19 weeks, and the intermittent fasting, I've had my HbA1c, so that's a 12 weekly test that says the average blood sugar for a person, diabetic, and mine used to be regularly between 12 and 15. So every 3 months I'd get one done, and they inevitably would be between 12 and 15. In 12 weeks of being on the ketogenic diet and intermittent fasting, it's now 6. That's basically a normal person. Now that's pretty impressive to get that in the first 3 months, first 12 weeks, to bring my HbA1c down from 12. Well, the last one before that was 12.5, so literally halved my blood sugar average. What's even more incredible is I also reduced my diabetic medication by between 50 and 100%. And what I mean by that is my tablet medication, glycoside and metformin, I've halved, so reduced that by 50%. My insulin, of which I was taking two different types, my slow release insulin, which was an insulin called Lantus, which I was doing 14 units a day, I now don't take at all. Totally eradicated the need for my slow release insulin. And the other insulin I was taking, which is a quick release insulin called Humulin, I was taking 24 units twice a day. I now take 6 units twice a day. So to reduce my HbA1c by 50% from 12.5 down to 6, but at the same time having reduced my diabetic medication, I think is amazing. And that is why I'm so passionate and so fanatical, almost crazy keto guy. Yeah, about the ketogenic diet and also intermittent fasting, and I do think the two can, you know, really nicely go hand in hand. Also, I'm very big on watching YouTube. I do have some go-to people. It started with my absolute fascination by watching Thomas DeLauer videos. That's Thomas and then Delauer. His YouTube channel is huge, and it's all mainly about ketogenic diet and intermittent fasting. So that's sort of like where the science bit started for me, watching his videos. And he's somebody that's basically lived the life. He was 286 pounds, very big. And if you see him now, he's on the front cover of most fitness magazines. He's lost 100 pounds since he started. He has been doing it 10 years, mind you. But yeah, he was my first go-to. Other people that I should mention from a diabetic perspective is Dr. Jason Fung. He speaks very much about intermittent fasting and diabetes and the whole, I don't want to say conspiracy theory, but the whole idea that there's so much money in the industry that sometimes maybe the true solution is not the one they choose to go down. So yeah, Dr. Jason Fong for certainly the diabetes, and then other people I want to just quickly mention that are definitely worth looking up is Ben Bikman, PhD, who's a professor at Brigham Young University, who again is very much, you know, sort of like intermittent fasting, cold therapy, diabetes, the whole shebang. Dr. Rhonda Patrick, amazing, talks about hypothermic conditioning, and again a whole bunch of stuff. The intermittent fasting, the cryotherapy, brilliant. So I would say I don't think I've missed anyone. They would be the four people that I would reference if you're looking to dig a bit deeper, get the science bit sort of clear in your head. They would be the four that I would say: Thomas DeLauer, Dr. Jason Fong, Ben Bikman, and Dr. Rhonda Patrick. So I've took some of that science and I've looked outside of the box, and as well as my ketogenic diet, as well as my intermittent fasting, I do also do the hypothermic conditioning. Now I was doing that and I didn't even realize I was doing that, and that basically is the sauna. I love saunas, and always after a gym session go into the sauna. I do a little bit of a routine with the sauna, the jacuzzi, the steam room. But hypothermic conditioning, and again the go-to person here is Dr. Rhonda Patrick. Hopefully if I keep mentioning her name I might even get a follow on Twitter. She is the absolute for that, so you know, Google it, YouTube it. But it's talking about the benefits of hypothermic conditioning, how the heat acts as a stressor and it sets off heat shock proteins in the body, and the benefits of those proteins being set off. I don't know if it's right to call them proteins, but basically, yeah, what happens in your body when it's got the stress of heat and heat shock proteins are activated. I also do a version of cryotherapy or cold therapy. I can't afford to go and sit in a cryo chamber. I found where the local one is, and that's still 30 miles away, and they charge £65 a session. Apparently you need 2 sessions a week, so that's £130 a week, so over a month it's about 600 quid. I definitely haven't got 600 quid for what is in effect 6 minutes a week in a cryo chamber. The suggestion is that even sitting in a cold room, now this might sound again a bit extreme and a bit crazy, but then I'm crazy keto guy, is that if you sit in a room that's 19 degrees or below, and you sit in it for 2 hours, you will reap the same benefits as though you were sitting in a cryo chamber. And the main benefit is turning white adipose tissue, so basically fat, into brown adipose tissue, or at least getting white adipose tissue acting like brown adipose tissue. Now again, I don't want to go into loads of detail about the science of it, but trust me, that's what you want happening. So, you know, the cold thing isn't the only thing that promotes and prompts that. There's things like exercise, there's things like introducing turmeric into your diet more. So there are some other things, but when possible, I try and sit in the room, window open, fans blasting. Sometimes I even douse myself in cold water, and sit there for 2 hours. I'm always doing something. I'm not a saddo. I'll be, or maybe I am a saddo, but I'll be watching the telly. I'll be working on the computer, something to fill the time. But I always feel great when I do it. That's all I can say. I've also just started, as well as the hypothermic conditioning and the cryotherapy. And again, if I'm going to reference one person for cryotherapy, I would say Ben Bickman. The other thing that I've just started doing, and again, another outside of the box, I've started doing what they call contrast showers. Now, this was something that I discovered. I've not looked into it as much as I want to. Ooh, out of focus. I've not looked into it as much as I want to, but it was during a interview with Dr. Rhonda Patrick, where she was interviewing, and I get this guy's name wrong. I should have wrote it down. I can never spell it, but it's something like Dave or David Concise. Apologies to the gentleman because I know I'm saying it wrong. He's an ex-NASA scientist, and he's very much for the intermittent and extended fasting. Just to quickly say, intermittent fasting I sort of view as up to 16 hours, and extended fasting I sort of view 24 plus. But he talks about a thing called contrast showers, a concept, an idea, if you like, that he brought in. And I've started to do it. I'm not quite sure, as I say, as to all the benefits. But you basically stand in a shower with the water on hot for 10 seconds. And then you turn the water to cold for 20 seconds. And then you're supposed to repeat that 10 times, always finishing on a cold cycle. Now, I am up to 4 at the moment, 4 repeats. So I'm not up to 10. So I do 10 seconds, 20, 10, 20, 10, 20, 10, 20. My idea, obviously, is to build that up and eventually get up to where it needs to be, or where David Concise suggests it should be. Again, apologies if I said the name wrong. Okay, one final thing. Just quickly, originally, as I've mentioned, I've massively reduced my blood sugars, and at the same time reduced my diabetic medication, including my insulin. I've totally eradicated one insulin, and the other insulin I've reduced by 75%, taking it down from 24 units twice a day down to 6 units twice a day. It was my original plan by the start of December to be totally like free of having to inject, so to reduce the Humulin completely down. I've changed my mind, and I think I'm allowed to. I've decided that I will continue taking the 6 units twice a day, not only for the whole of December, but also the whole of January. and I will look to start bringing it back down in February. I felt the timing was wrong to stop it in December, especially when I've earmarked 5 days over Christmas and the New Year for a super treat. I'm not going to go like mad, even though I'm crazy, but I do want to be able to eat the things that I want to and not have any guilt. So I thought to be able to do that, and if I was at the same time trying to cut my insulin completely, that probably wasn't the best idea. So yeah, just an update on that. I will continue over December, obviously over the festive period, and I'm allowing myself, I think, January, because I'm sure there will be a little bit of a fallout from my exploits over the festive time. So January will probably be a recovery month. But again, hopefully not too much damage. So that's about it. Thanks everyone that's made it all the way to the end of the video. Please subscribe. Please like, follow, share. I haven't really got that many followers at the moment. I think I'm funny. I think I'm interesting. I think I'm fairly knowledgeable. Keto, intermittent fasting, diabetes, and some of the out of the box stuff as well. So yeah, it would be great if you could help get Crazy Keto Guy out to the world and beyond even. Apart from that, everyone stay safe. Give those that you love a big hug. Realize that in changing your life and certainly taking care of yourselves, it doesn't only impact on you. It is going to impact on you, trust me, but it will also impact on what you can do for the ones you love. And that could be as simple as just being around a little bit longer and having a little bit more energy to do the things that are needed. So apart from that, much love to my Ketonians. Now, I thought I created that term, by the way, but it appears not. But anyway, take care, my Ketonian brothers and sisters, and I will speak to you all soon, for those that watch the videos.